Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to the Walking Dead After Show on theStreamtv. We're excited you are tuned in with us. That was I really liked that episode, and I'm really excited to talk about it with you guys. I am your host, Malynda Hale, and I am joined by David, Glenna, and Tim. We are gonna dive right into this episode. So first and foremost, we were talking about Sasha going off the deep end. She kind of went a little crazy in this episode. And I think we talked about that last time because she already lost Bob and now she lost Tyrese, and we all kind of expected that she was going to lose it. I think we foreshadowed that last time. What do you guys think is going to happen next with her?
I mean, you say crazy, but I don't think she's crazy. I think she's just pissed off. I think she's really mad.
Right, she's really mad. And you could tell she totally blames Noah. 100%. I mean, we kind of all did anyway. Yeah. But she's really upset with him. That confrontation with her and Michonne was so intense. Michonne was like, you need to chill.
Well, it's funny that you bring up Michonne because Michonne said, I forgot which episode or season, but she said, you know, anger makes you stupid and stupid gets you killed. So I don't know. She needs to let go of this anger or something's going to happen to her.
And I even saw on Twitter when we were watching, someone said that they think Sasha's either going to be the reason somebody dies next or the person that dies next because of how she's acting, which you bring back the point that Michonne said. I also noticed that Maggie is just emotionless. And she's really going through this depression, which we always joke about is kind of interesting because she didn't really have any feelings towards Beth the whole time Beth was around anyway. But I wonder what now her path is going to be, because Glenn also, you can tell, he doesn't really know what to do with Maggie. What do you think, David?
I think both of them are going to be fine. I feel like this episode was like, we had a lot of people die in the past couple episodes, and we didn't really get the time, you know, to reflect on those deaths. Like first we had Beth, then we had Tyrese back to back, and we didn't really get to see. I think this was the episode where everybody kind of mourned.
Right.
You know, they were depressed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then I think we're going to see, I don't know, from the last conversation that Beth and Maggie had at the end, where they were kind of like, they talking to each other, we're going to be okay. I think that they're going to be okay. I think they're going to be back to normal. It was just, they had to go through that phase.
Right.
You know?
I agree, and I loved seeing that moment with Daryl also. That was a really, really tender moment when he just sat there and like, we talked about like the cigarette burn, how it kind of symbolized to me just he doesn't feel anything anymore. They're all just desensitized to this whole situation and just numb. You know, what were you gonna say, Glenna?
No, I was just gonna say I don't really think they're gonna have any like Maggie and Sasha. Like clearly there's gonna be some new stuff happening, and I think it's like, okay, now we had our time to mourn or whatever,
you had
and
your
they
24
have to,
hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I mean, they're gonna have to step up.
Right, because now
hours.
You're right. Well,
you gotta call it like it's like the Walking Dead 5-second rule.
Right. That's true.
5 seconds out.
True. It's
Time
like,
to start going back.
Come on, we gotta kill some more zombies. You gotta move on with your life. Well, now that they're moving towards Washington, they're only 60 miles out. They are gonna have to get over it and continue. But we were talking about who we didn't think was going to make it. I don't know. I really don't know. I thought Tyrese was going to make it. I was hoping. I think people were like, no, he's not going to, because he didn't want to kill anybody anymore. And I'm so sad, obviously, that he's gone. But we want to know who you think won't make the cut to Washington. But what do you guys think? Who do you really think is not going to make it?
I have no idea.
Really?
I honestly have no idea, because last episode...
The baby?
Well, yeah. Can we talk about the baby,
Can we
guys?
please talk about the baby?
I feel so bad when I was looking at Twitter and people were like, the baby needs to go.
The baby needs to go. It needs to go.
Well, that's like when the storm came through and they left the baby. I was like, oh shit, some zombie's gonna roll through the back and eat the zombie.
It was Daryl that put the baby down.
No, it was Carl.
It was Carl.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Daryl. Carl, yeah. He just was like, sorry.
Right.
Sorry, I got to
And then we were all like, oh my
yeah.
God, the baby's down. Oh my God, is the baby gonna die?
We thought something was gonna happen.
And then she woke up and the baby's still there, and we're like, oh crap, this baby's still there.
Well,
Judith.
also, I mean, I don't know about that.
Judith's resilient.
Yeah.
It might be interesting to see how, like, it's the first person we've seen who will literally have their life starting in the zombie apocalypse. So they might keep.
That's a good dynamic. I didn't think about
That's
that.
interesting, but she's kind of the biggest inconvenience
Ever.
I mean, it's been a couple years. Shouldn't she be walking by now?
I was gonna say, I'm like, hasn't it been
or
a
at
couple
least
years?
saying Dad or Rick or something.
I mean, we're supposed to adapt,
because,
right?
I mean, Lori was gone in season 2, but how long ago was that?
How much time has actually
passed? I don't really know. I don't know how much time has passed.
It's definitely been like at least 2 years.
I thought it was season 3 Lori died.
Oh yeah, it was season 3.
Yeah.
But still, we're in season 5, so. But I don't know. Like we want to know what you think. We want to know what you think, you guys. So let us know, how much time do you think has passed, and do you think Judith is going to survive this? Because we don't. And since you are on YouTube, go ahead and invite your friends to join in on the conversation and tell them to tweet us using the hashtag TWDAS. So one of our next topics was when they came outside and they saw all those water bottles and this mysterious letter that said, "From a friend." Immediately, we all thought that it was Morgan.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No.
Fine. David's always the one. But I thought it was Morgan, but then I was like, if it's Morgan, why is he just kind of lurking in the shadows and not saying anything to them?
I used process of elimination. I was like, oh, maybe it's Morgan.
Right.
But then I was like, oh, if it's Morgan, why is he still hiding?
Right.
And if it is Morgan, he's by himself. That was a lot of fucking water to carry around with him for God knows how long.
Right. Well, and also, I was thinking if it was Morgan, he probably thought ahead of time, like he probably still had a mission or something, and he knew they were going to walk through that way.
Right.
So then
Well,
that's
what I was thinking. Like everybody, there was water in the middle of the road. I mean, that just kind of symbolized for me that somebody's been watching them.
Right.
To know that they were going to go down that road
And it was
at that
so
time.
strategically placed. It was kind of creepy.
Yes.
You know?
It was very creepy.
Yeah, it was weird. So we had the mysterious letter, we had the water bottles, then we had, let's backtrack a little bit. We had the evil dogs that we didn't talk about, which I thought they were going to be zombie dogs for like a hot second.
This is not Resident Evil.
I know. I was like, are they going to be zombie dogs? But then I realized animals don't get the virus on Walking Dead. At least we've noticed.
Yeah. Those dogs for sure would have been walking dogs.
Right. So I'm curious why. You have no idea.
I don't know. I mean, if it affects people, it should affect any other mammals, right?
But
I mean, we do monkey testing to do
they
drugs
seemed
for us.
pretty rabid. They were kind of evil in general, but they weren't zombies. But I wonder why the virus hasn't affected animals. And
they have a different. I'm not a
they
doctor,
do.
but they have a different. Like, dogs are allergic to chocolate. I mean, we're not allergic.
Right,
I mean, some
that's
people
true.
are, but I mean,
True.
it just they have a different system.
Yeah, like when dogs can have colds. Like people don't get colds from the dogs.
True.
So.
I will say this though, you guys planted that whole dogs being zombies and stuff coming back to life, and when they saw the frogs and she started burying them, I was like, they're gonna come to life.
Yeah.
I thought that.
Wait, who was the one that said, "Oh, make some frog legs"?
Yeah,
David.
Frog legs.
So
I was like, and they
funny.
didn't even pick them up. I was like, well, you guys must not have been too hungry. You just left all the frogs
Right, just left all
laying
the
around.
frog legs and instead they ate the dogs. I was so sad about that.
That was really sad.
That was really sad. Anyway, so then we had this huge thunderstorm, which was really, first it was like this blessing. They finally had all this rain and this water. They were happy, like we can have a bath, we can get water. But then it turned into this really scary kind of tornado. And then I still do not know if that was a dream or not. I don't know what happened.
It can't be.
I
Look
don't-
at what happened when they walked outside. There was like a clear path that was ripped through the woods.
But they didn't.
trees and walkers thrown everywhere.
But they didn't show, if it had been real, they would have shown the whole thing. I think they just kind of like dimmed out. And I think she dreamt it because there had been so much noise. And then they went outside and they were like surprised to see that. Like they all would have known there were walkers
I think that
out
they were
there.
surprised to see the amount of destruction that happened right next to them.
Right, and they didn't
touch
them. Yeah.
I think that's
And
what they're
Sasha's
surprised
line,
about.
she's like, I don't understand how this
I
is
just
happening
didn't-
and we're still here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was just so weird how they didn't. I don't know. So it was a dream.
I think it was.
I think it was
an actual
It's
tornado.
just weird how it didn't.
All right, so I think
play
there's
out.
this is my, I don't know. I'm
No,
working
say it.
I'm working a theory.
All right.
Oh God, David and his theories.
It's about this new guy, right? So first, they needed water. The water appeared. They didn't want to take it. It started raining. Then the preacher guy was like, oh, thank you, Lord. I knew you were always looking out for me. And then the walkers come. And then all of a sudden, a tornado comes through, and it gets rid of the walkers for him. And then Maggie's music box that Daryl supposedly fixed, she starts playing it. It doesn't work still, so apparently Daryl didn't fix it.
Right.
And then Mystery Man shows up, and the music starts playing. And they're all like, so like, is
So what's
this...
your theory?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Conclusion.
I don't know. What is this guy, like a zombie Jesus or something that just makes miracles happen?
If you agree with David
I
that
don't
this
know.
is a
I
zombie
agree.
Jesus, let us know. But we do want to know who you guys think this new guy is and what kind of role he's going to be playing in The Walking Dead, because he did show up. He's a friend. He gave no name, just a friend.
I don't trust
so
him.
I don't trust him either, but we really want to know what you think. So tweet us, TWDAS, and we will be right back with your fan questions. Thanks so much, you guys.
in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live.
Just in case you missed it live.
Oh, just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live, I'm doing something right now.
So we're all super excited.
So this is dancing.
So what would that be, like a 7?
I cannot. I literally cannot. You guys have got to get it together.
Don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Hate the contract you didn't get.
He's a coward. He's a giant chicken shit.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's going to be like hurricane. Whoa.
Watch out for those girls. They are gagging them.
Hold the phone.
Hold on.
Bro.
The more brutal you are, the more power you have.
Right.
That was sexy, it was hot, it was heated, I was into it.
You are gonna be the most high-paid hooker in the world.
Go ahead and invite your friends and everybody. Tell your mama, tell them don't go ahead and turn the stove off and get up on the computer so we can get on theStream.tv.
Thank you again for joining us, and until next week, bye-bye.
All right, welcome back, you guys. You are watching The Walking Dead After Show on theStream.tv. We're so grateful for you tuning in. And we want to give a few YouTube shout-outs to those of you that are watching live right now. Glenna, who do we have?
Okay, we have Poe the Jedi, Forever Johnny Boy, the Dork Knight 23.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one too.
And we're super grateful for all you guys joining in. And
Yes, and please tell all of your friends to join us every week and subscribe to theStream.tv so you don't miss any of our after shows. Now we're going to get to some of your fan questions. Our first one comes from Chris Hawkins at ChrisHawkins94. Do you think we will see old characters coming back like Lori, Herschel, Andrea, and Shane and other hallucinations? So like we saw last week with Tyrese's hallucination, we saw a few of the old characters. Beth was singing, David was over it. And we saw the governor and the 2 little girls. So I'm wondering, do you guys think any hallucinations like that will happen again, or do you think that was just Tyrese specific?
I don't think
If
so.
hallucinations like that happen again, that means somebody's got to die. So
Right.
That's true.
I don't think so. I think the reason why they did that with those people, with that specific group of people, was just because of the person Tyrese was. It wasn't just like everyone that's like when you start to go. It's just, I think it was just all in his head. And
I do, and I think it had to do with his guilt and his feelings and what he was going through. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
And those people went a really long time ago.
Yeah, they did. What were you gonna say, Tim?
They were over Lori's hallucination. Though.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like everybody was like, "Why are you here?"
Right.
So I don't know.
Well, remember Rick also was having hallucinations of Lori.
That's what I mean. Like they were over it.
Yeah, it was,
they were over that.
Well,
I think Rick is gonna hallucinate Shane. He's gonna be like, "Man, I shot my best friend, and I'm a terrible person."
I don't think he cared that much. He was also messing around with his wife, so.
Yeah, he wasn't around.
All right, our next fan question is from Chris Ballantyne, or Ballantine, CB Tyne. What do you think of the zombie clown car, the torso truck? We didn't get to touch on this last week, but last week, if you remember, there was a truck full of zombie torsos, and they had a W on it, I think.
There was W's. Okay, so like there was W's carved in their foreheads. So those were the top half of the zombies of the legs that we found at the property. So I've been reading a lot of Reddit threads and all of these things, and I guess I mean there's a bunch of different theories as what could be happening. Yeah. But I think my favorite right now, especially after just seeing this newest episode, is that, remember there was a shot where they said the wolves are near and the town looked like it was attacked by somebody. The zombies had W's, wolves, carved into their foreheads. Maybe this new guy too is somebody that followed them from that area.
Right.
Maybe it's a different group of people who just, I don't know, cut people in half for fun.
Right.
But then is it they attacked the town because the town was already lost, Wilshire community, or because why would they cut up all the walkers is it like I mean,
that's something they just gave us a little taste of it, so it
so
could literally be
hopefully
anything.
They go back to it, which actually brings us to our next fan question from Paulina Sedeka. What's up with the Greek numbers on the walkers' heads? Reminds me of that movie, The Frighteners. So as we were talking about, they have the W's and those other numbers and stuff. So do you think it kind of may be connected to this friend, as he called himself? Do you think he has anything to do with that, guys?
He's got to, because
this
guy has had to have been following them. He knows who Rick is.
Right, and he's clean. I don't know why
Clean.
he's so
He is
clean. It's so weird.
I
don't
wish I
trust
was that
you.
clean, 'cause
Right.
and I'm not even going through a
He
zombie
is
apocalypse.
like, he has had his clothes washed. Like that. He looked pristine. So we want to know what you guys think about all of the zombie torsos and all of that. So do we have a live question, Glenna?
We do. Our live question is from Forever Johnny Boy. Thanks for.
Yes, we love you.
Yeah. He says, so the woman in the trunk, was she kidnapped when the outbreak began and left for dead, and after starving, she turned?
It's a good question. I don't know if the woman in the trunk is going to have any more significance, but I think Glenna brought up a really good point when we were watching, that Maggie was starting to have so much remorse and like feelings towards the zombies, right? Isn't that what you said? I think that's what you said.
Yeah,
it was really interesting to see. But go ahead.
Yeah, it was just interesting to see all of a sudden she cares about these zombies, and I think, you know, they happen to be female zombies, so she probably was just really sensitive.
Do you think it's because she just lost Beth that she would rather Beth have been a walker than dead? Like, you think that just to see her one more time, kind of alive?
I didn't think of that.
Maybe that's the whole case with the woman in the thing. Maybe she was already turned, and it was like her family member that put her in the trunk, and they didn't know what to do with it.
That's why they tied her up, so that she wouldn't bite.
Oh, that's really interesting.
I mean, that's happened in lots of other zombies. I mean, Shaun of the Dead, his best friend turned into a zombie.
Well, look at Herschel. Herschel kept all of his family in that barn.
And Sophie,
all of his family.
That's what happened with Sophia.
It's very, very possible. Well, thank you so much for your questions. Those were great. We want to give also a few Twitter shout outs for those of you that have been tweeting us throughout the week at Trey_Henry17, at CBTine, and at ChrisHawkins94. Thank you so much for tweeting us. And tell your friends to tweet us throughout the week using the hashtag TWDAS. We love to get your questions. Don't forget to subscribe to theStream.tv because we don't want you to miss any of our after shows. And thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Join the conversation about your favorite TV shows on theStream.tv, the Fan Show Network. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe now.